Hello, folks. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Today, Saber went in and she got groomed, and she looks all pretty now. They trimmed her around her feet and give her a bath, and got all the mats out of her hair and stuff like that, folks. And she looks like a different dog. And today, we're going to talk about different traits of the narcissist. Probably the red flags of one and what causes you to get into the relationships with them. A lot of women or men out here, folks, they get lonely and they're looking for somebody to have companionship, somebody that they can relate with. And we know that the narcissist lurks in the corners and things like that, folks, looking for people that's lonely, because the narcissist doesn't have your best interest at heart, folks. They're only lurking for people for their own personal gain and not for the person that they're with. But you're not going to know that they're narcissists when you first meet them, folks, because if they give up how they really feel inside about another person, then you will probably not want to go along with them. So that's how people get caught up in it. And narcissists like to move quick, too, whenever they're trying to get a relationship going with somebody. And really, to the narcissist, he's not getting into a loving relationship, folks, because he's incapable of love. He's only doing it for his own personal gain or her personal gain, meaning that men and women both get abused, folks. But I wanted to get in here and say hello to you all and give a little bit more information to the best of my ability on narcissists and what happens whenever a person winds up in the relationship with them. Narcissists wear masks, folks. And when you first meet them, they mask the real person, the real them, behind the mask. And then once you get with them, depending on what kind of narcissist you get, that mask slips one day, and then that's when you find out who they really are, folks. And then by the time you get into the relationship, they've already got you caught up into the web of abuse, and it's too late to do anything about it. Because some narcissists, I'm not going to say all folks, some narcissists will get highly dangerous whenever you find out who they are and you start making plans to leave, which is why you probably should sneak away if you do plan to leave and get your own little safety plans too. But yeah, this is how people get tangled up in those relationships, folks. Because the narcissists are just waiting to pounce on the right kind of person. They'll find people with that's got good personalities, and sometimes a person can have low self-esteem when they first meet them too. And they like to work on those kind of people too, folks, because they know that they can get more control on a person too. You might have insecurities or something like that, from something that happened in your life. There's just different things that can happen. But they really like to pick on people like that, folks. But most of the time, those malignant narcissists, they play on people's emotions quite a bit. And they're higher on the spectrum in the abuse pattern, folks. So you have to be real careful about these kind of people, because they're no joke, folks. They don't have no sympathy whatsoever, and they're just what you call empty souls, so to speak. That's just a figure of speech, folks. But yeah, I wanted to tell you about all this stuff, folks, because some people may not be aware of how they get tangled up in these situations, folks. And that's why, if we're lonely and everything, folks, we have to be very careful about somebody and take our time and find out how they really are. So, if they do find out that they're with the narcissist, then they have time to get away from them, folks, before they get tangled up. But, yeah, that's how they do, folks. I know this sounds confusing and everything, folks, and narcissist lives doesn't make sense anyway. And for those that wind up taking their children in court or whatever, whenever a divorce happens or something like that, they don't do it because they love the child, folks. They do it to use the child as a tool to try to turn that child against you and brainwash them and, have them to think all kinds of bad things about you. And that's what the narcissist does. He projects all his bad feelings onto you and makes you feel like that you're the bad person. And they'll go around and they'll have what they call flying monkeys. They'll try to turn your family members against you, your people that you thought were your friends. But what? Huh? You don't have to tell me. I'm making a video, honey. My husband thinks he has to tell me everything, folks. I told him he didn't have to tell me every time he makes a move because I was in here making a video for you all. But anyway, he interrupted the video once again. That's what I'm saying, folks. When I'm trying to make a video or something like that, it's hard to get him to be quiet. He's got some friends down there helping him with the fence today. Again, they're trying to get that finished up, and it looks like they're pretty close to doing so, folks. But yeah, I'm just trying to think of all the things, folks, that narcissists do and how they operate to help you all not get into them relationships. And if you are in a relationship with one, folks, I know I keep saying this, but you just have to make yourself safety plans to get out of it. And what I mean by safety plans is like this one person that I seen when I was listening to them. They said that what they would do is if the narcissist was in the bed sleeping, they would get up and they would pack a box of clothes and take it to a storage unit and keep it in the storage unit so the narcissist wouldn't see it and he wouldn't realize that that person was getting ready to leave. But that's how you do it, folks. You get all your ducks in a row as far as, making a quick escape from them, folks. And you do it pretty discreetly so they don't know anything about it, because that's how I got out of mine. I waited until he went one day to fix a truck, and as soon as he left, folks, I got what was necessary. I didn't have any clothes with me or anything like that, folks. I didn't have no money, no phone, no car, no nothing. I just got what was necessary, like my ID and things like that I would have in case I had to, have it for paperwork and stuff. And I headed on down the road, folks, not knowing what was going to happen. But I just knew that I was going to get out of that abusive relationship, and that's what I did, folks. And that's what you'll probably have to wind up doing yourself, folks. But loneliness is what causes us to get tangled up in those kind of relationships. Just like one woman said, she was widowed, and her narcissist got her because she had lost her husband and everything, and she was a lonely person, and she wound up with a narcissist, and that narcissist took everything she had, folks. I think that's really a sad situation. You know, that them narcissists mess up people's lives like that. And some of them can do really bad things, folks. They can mess up your life so bad that, you know, you can't really get out of it or anything like that. It's something that you have to suffer with. Just like if you have children with them. You know, they fight you in court to the hilt and threaten you over the children and things like that, and it gets real dangerous and stuff too, because that's what happened to me. And they will use the kids as a tool and brainwash them. Well, thank you for joining my YouTube channel, folks. I wanted to get in here and say hello to you and tell you what we've been doing today. And you have a nice day, and I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. Bye-bye.